Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the second annual Codex Awards. I am your host this evening. My name is Tim. On this side of me is the beautiful and multi-talented Jamie, and over here is the immortal Sonny Kruger. You know us from the Codex podcast. Down below, we have two wonderful gentlemen, both from Comic Character of the Day on Facebook and our very own Comic Character of the Week and Codex After Dark, and that would be Archduke Kevin. I think he's wearing Bagley art, and Dan Kelly. How is everybody doing
just
tonight?
skim past Dan. It's like, and Dan Kelly. Can we move on now?
How is everybody tonight? Are you guys ready to get this show underway?
Oh, I've been ready
since
this January.
Wonderful.
Very excited.
So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this. We got 8 categories for you tonight, guys. And the first one to start it off is biggest surprise. And I will go ahead and give my whatever for this one. And
nomination.
Nomination, that too. And I'll let you know Sal's also. Kristen didn't have one this year. Oh, yes, she did. So mine... Yeah, Kristen did have one. So with mine, it is Zdarsky writing Batman. When that news was put out on the podcast, that I think was the biggest surprise I had for the year. It was totally unexpected to see him go immediately from Daredevil over to Batman, but continue to do Daredevil. And I think he's done a wonderful job with Batman so far. As far as Kristen's biggest surprise, she has 2. That is Paper Girls, and Did You Hear What Eddie Gein Did? If you haven't seen those, she did reviews for both, and that is on Codex Reviews on our YouTube channel. And Sal chose Predator, the Marvel series, the current series. He said it was thrilling, and the main character is very relatable. Jamie, what do you got this year for biggest surprise?
Well, we are on the same page for once in our lives there, Tim. I had also Zdarsky taking over the helm for Batman because he did such a great work on Daredevil alone that I was always like, this would be awesome if he turned this into Batman. But I didn't know that he wasn't just exclusive to Marvel, so he can make that jump. And him taking over this character has been amazing so far after Joshua Williamson. So with that being said, Sonny, what do you got for biggest surprise, bud?
Well, Arcade's Murder World is not what I'm giving it to. My biggest surprise has actually been the evolution of Codex, guys. We have grown so much this year, and
we got an award.
We only had one shot. We had one shot. We've had quite a few more one shots. The Codex Station or the Codex podcast has grown so much as the Codex Station. We've had so many more shows, so many new members. We had 3 before. Now we have a whole full team. Codex is only continuing to grow. I must say I'm surprised by our evolution, and I know next year will be an even bigger year. So Codex does get an award from me for biggest surprise.
If I don't get a PDF award in the mail, I'm going to be so upset.
Jamie, I'm right behind you. I need my PDF award too.
Yeah, it costs $350, guys, and then you'll get your award.
Well, in that case, just print it out, and I'll send you the money for the ink.
Dan,
hopefully you have money.
Dan, hopefully you have a cheaper nomination for us instead of Sunny's $350 participation trophy. What do you got for us this year for biggest surprise?
Mine was a little different. I went with a surprise from a book, and I was trying to figure out which one. And really, it was the last page of the first issue of Vanish. As you're reading the book and all right, yeah, this is pretty good. And then when you get to the end and you see that twist at the end of the first issue, you're like, oh, did not see that coming at all. So I'm going with that and just kind of generally how good that book is as my surprise. And to the point that Sal was telling me, he's like, I'm not interested in that book. I said, pick up the first issue. When you get to the last page, you're gonna want to get it. After he read it, he's like, "Oh my God, you're so right!" Like, and he started picking up the whole series.
Yeah, now he's like, "I'm on 4." I'm like, "What happened, dude?"
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Kevin, why don't you finish this category off? What is your biggest surprise of the year?
All right, for me, it was DC taking a chance on maybe, depending upon your opinion, a B or C level character, and making it from a limited series to a full series, Poison Ivy has been absolutely tremendous. I was blown away by how good that series was right from the get.
Yes.
It was always just like a, Harley Quinn's girlfriend, kind of Batman's enemy, but this whole run has been like amazing, and I'm like was blown away by how good they went and made Poison Ivy, and the social commentary is spot on. It's just really one of the best things that has come out that I did not see coming at all.
Yeah, and I gotta add on to that just a little bit because that was my second runner-up for this category because of the fact that it was a 6-issue miniseries, and they went, no, this is too good just to be 6 issues. We need to make it longer.
Yes.
And you know what? A biggest or even bigger surprise is what I'm about to show on the screen here in a second. Kristen will be joining us here shortly too.
All right.
We'll have almost the whole team. If you're listening, if you jump in near the end, whole team's going to be here. It's going to be fantastic. So
that'll be a codex
sale.
And hey, my mother.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
Jimmy's mom.
Merry Christmas.
All right. So biggest surprise was a big surprise for all the choices that we had. But Jamie, what's next on our list of categories?
Our next on the list is one of my favorites is Best Writer of the Year. And there have been so many new people coming into the industry, veterans, everything. But for my pick for this year's top writer for the Codex Award, I am going to give it to James Tynion IV for his work on The Closet, Something's Killing the Children. No, Dan, don't get excited. I wasn't talking about you when I said The Closet. His work on DC vs. Vampires, everything. The guy has not missed a beat. So definitely, he's getting the award for it this year.
Wonderful.
Definitely.
So,
Wonderful.
Tim, what do you got?
Well, first off, Kristen doesn't have anything for this, but Sal does, and he has Zdarsky for Daredevil, and I'm inclined to agree with that. Almost. My choice for Best Writer of the Year is G. Willow Wilson for Poison Ivy. As great as Zdarsky was doing on Daredevil, as much as I love that series, the first issue of Poison Ivy, I was hooked. That I think is the best thing to come out of DC in years. And it is an absolutely fantastic read. If you guys haven't checked it out, by all means, go ahead and do that. What are they at right now, Kevin? Seven? Issue 7?
Yeah, it's 7.
Yeah. So it's starting the new arc, and it is absolutely unreal. Definitely worth the time. My Best Writer of the Year, G. Willow Wilson for Poison Ivy. Sonny, what do you got?
Well, since
and you can't be yourself.
I was hoping. I'm waiting for one of you guys to give it to me. Okay, but for my pick for the Best Writer of the Year award, I give it to Ron Mars.
Yeah,
Ron Mars. I've been a fan. I'm not too caught up with everything going on right now, but I read a lot of his work: Silver Surfer, Green Lantern, Marvel vs. DC. He also took a chance on the Codex and did a one-shot with us. And then this year he has been the writer for the Silver Surfer Rebirth. And then I know next year he has Adam Warlock Rebirth coming up. So for me, I give the award for Best Writer to Ron Mars.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Kevin, your turn. What do you got for Best Writer of the Year?
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate the award. You're giving it to me.
I was going to throw it out until you mentioned it. Now, screw you, man. I am going to go with Jeff Johns. He is... We all know that he's capable of phenomenal things. Back in the day, in the I guess it was the early 90s, mid 90s, somewhere in the 90s, we saw what he was capable of, and he's beginning to bring DC back to greatness. And I thought for a while DC was really stagnant, and now that he's back and beginning to take the helm again and push things forward, I'm extraordinarily excited to see where he leads us with that from Tremendous Universe in the future. So for
Very,
me, Jeff Johns.
very, very nice. Dan, finish this wonderful category off. Who do you have for best writer of the year?
I'm gonna go with Donny Cates. Thor has
My
been
runner-up.
Thor has been epic. He took over Hulk, took it in a complete, after Immortal Hulk with the horror aspect, took it a completely different direction with this like crazy sci-fi thing, and that's been super fun. He had the Banner of War crossover between them, which was cool. Plus, he launched Vanish, which has been a really cool book. Even though there were only a couple issues of it this year, the last few issues of crossover before they took their break before they picked it back up was, that was another book that was really great. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with him. For like I said, for the great titles and the versatility, and and it seems like I don't know, he's got some stuff going on. I don't know how much we'll be getting from him next year, but this year has been tops.
Right on.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Real fast, let me
Fair.
get Kristen in here. We're going to have to help her real fast get everything set up, and we'll be right back with the stuff.
All right, now let's move on to Best Artist of the Year. I'll go ahead and take that away. Kristen, I don't know if you have Best Artist, but Sal does. And he has Alex Ross specifically for his timeless variants and
Yes.
Captain America Sentinel of Liberty covers. Great choice there, Sal.
He did Fantastic Four too, right?
Yeah.
The new one, right? Oh, yeah, that was some good work.
Yeah.
I chose Marco Cicchetto for Daredevil. His artwork was absolutely fantastic. I loved every bit of seeing that throughout the course of that volume and even into the current run that's going on now. His artwork is fantastic. I think it's gritty enough, but clear and concise from panel to panel. It's gorgeous to look at. Jamie, what do you got for the Best Artist of the Year?
So for Best Artist of the Year for me, I have Bruno Redondo. If he is from Nightwing, and to me, this is the first time I've seen Nightwing look and feel from a drawing like Nightwing should. From Dick Grayson to Nightwing to the whole Bat family, he makes everything look spectacular, along with the correlation of Tom Taylor's writing.
All right. Sonny? Oh, go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
No, I said Sonny.
Okay. Me, I'm going to give it to somebody else who has appeared on something Codex before, and that is Darryl Banks. Darryl Banks, like I said, did a one shot with you guys. He did a whole chat with us. See, when he makes the right connections, you get some good stuff. But also, currently, he's been working on Nubia and the Amazons, and I also follow him on Instagram, which many of us do, and he's always posting artwork on there. So,
and he's always liking our stuff. So thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, I've been following his work on there. So for me, I give the Best Artist of the Year award to Darryl Banks.
There you go. Kristen, since you're new to the show, why don't you go ahead and give it your
Whoa, what? I think I'm
the awards.
Few of these.
The awards.
Best Artist, ma'am. Who do you have?
All right, well, as I told you before I knew that I can come on to the show today, I was doing the artist for Alice Ever After from Boom Studios, Giorgio Spalletta. Reason being is if you've watched a lot of my reviews, I talk a lot about how arts change when you're doing past to present, reality to not reality, or even doing those little tiny hints of like Easter eggs in the background. I adore all of those. And I think with Alice Ever After, Giorgio really, really punched that in very, very well. It actually gets to the point where you're not really sure, is reality reality, or is Wonderland reality, or is Wonderland Wonderland, and reality is one. You go through all these sort of things because the art goes ahead and evolves as you read it. So I just adore things like that. So that's my go.
That's wonderful. Kevin, what do you got for Best Artist of the Year?
I'm afraid to pronounce his name here. Jorge George Jimenez, who's doing Batman.
Yes.
Everything I've seen, everything that he does is slightly different in style from everything else he does, which is an amazingly impressive feat. Some of the flashbacks of one of some of the things that the past during versus the present, and the way he draws the different family members is very distinct from each other, and I think that's just a very impressive feat. So I want to go with Jorge or George
Jorge
Jimenez.
Jimenez. Yep.
Yeah.
Jorge. Okay. Jorge Jimenez for my choice.
There you go. And Dan, finish us off. Best artist of the year. Who do you have?
All right. Well, I had a few written down, and you guys have already named a couple of them, so I'll go with my one that hasn't been named yet, which is Derek Robertson. Probably best known for Transmetropolitan and The Boys, but this year he's been doing a lot of Batman stuff. He did a 3-issue miniseries or a 3-issue story to launch a new Batman book that he wrote and drew, and then he's been doing this this Batman miniseries called Batman Fortress, which is pretty cool, and it's been really cool seeing him draw it. Like his style, I think, fits that really well, and the couple other characters that they have in that series, and a new Green Lantern that they introduced in it, which is so far a great character. He just kills it. And I can't remember. I should have looked at it. There's another series he was working on. I can't remember if it was completely last year or if it bled into this year, but this fantastic series called Space Bastards that he was drawing, which I highly recommend picking that up because that book is wild and his art is fantastic on it.
Awesome.
All right. Perfect. That takes care of best artist. Jamie, what is our next category?
Our next category is best current series. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, I got to ask the whole team, do you guys know where we can get comics for a discounted price?
I have no idea.
Tell us.
Oh man.
Tell
Do
me,
I have
show
a
me.
subscription?
Can you? Oh, you know what? How about this? I can show you right now.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
Left.
Please do.
Everyone, if you're anything like me, you love comics, but you also love a good deal. And our friends over at Heroes Corner Comics have just the deal for you. From exclusives to back issues, graded slabs, current issues, and even set up a subscription with them. And all you have to do is use the keyword codex at checkout. That's CODEX, and you will save 20% store-wide. So don't miss out.
Right on. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you
I do
very
have
much.
a subscription. Hey, I was right.
Yeah. But yes, back into best current series of the year for me, I am going with none other than Noctera. I think that it still holds well from last year to this year's transition. The work of Scott Snyder and Tony S. Daniels has been amazing. And even their one-shots, they give so much character description. It's insane. So you fall in love with the character more and more.
Such a good
Perfect.
Awesome.
Before we move forward, let's say hello to the wonderful sci-fi swordsman, Tone Falcone. How you doing, buddy? It has been a long time.
Hey, Tone.
Stick
up,
around.
Welcome back. What you gonna do about it?
So
I
let's
won't welcome you
Oh,
back,
I
but I'll
love
say
you.
hello.
There you go. So let's move forward.
Mhm.
Dan, why don't you go ahead and let us know what your best current series of the year is?
My best current series, I'm going to go with Daredevil. It's been,
Okay.
I mean, it's been consistently fantastic. I want to say for like 2 years, 3 years going on, like ever since Zdarsky took over. And it's not often that you see stories that progress the way his Daredevil story has progressed, where something that happened in an issue literally years ago is still affecting what's going on in it now. But it's not something where, you know, sometimes writers can do that and it just kind of drags on. You're like, all right, come on, let's get to it. But he started, and the way his story progressed all the way along through Daredevil and Devil's Reign and now into the current Daredevil book, like, it makes sense. It's always a fantastic read. So that's one I'm going to have to go with.
All right.
I've been hearing a lot of
Evan?
good things about that Daredevil series.
Good. Yeah, it's a great.
So
Great
good.
pick.
Me,
It is- yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Image 30th anniversary anthology.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's an anthology. They're doing a bunch of different vignettes of different stories. Some continue, some are one shots, but and they have some great artists and writers doing it. Not all of it has been great, but enough has that it's absolutely phenomenal. When it's a miss, it's still readable and enjoyable. When it's a hit, it's been phenomenal. So definitely going to go with Image 30th anniversary anthology for me.
All right. Kristen, do you have a best current series that you've read this year?
So the interesting thing about me, as you guys know, is I'm sort of the omnibus person. I kind of read little weird vignettes, or they're one-offs, or they're indie things, or things like that. But there is one that I have started reading that I haven't done my review yet, so I won't tell you guys too much about it. But it is brand new this year, and it is Little Monsters from Image Comics.
All right.
And not only is it the name of one of like my favorite 80s movies, it has nothing to do with this comic. But if you like post-apocalyptic ideas and vampires, you're really going to enjoy this. And it will be a review that's upcoming. So again, I don't want to say too much. It is brand new from Image Comics, Little Monsters. Tone's all about it. I see it.
Tone, I was about to say
Tone.
Tone was raving about that the entire time.
It's super good.
Awesome.
It's super good.
It was in
And,
his pool. It was on his pools every week.
Yeah,
I read
it's
those first couple issues.
very
It was
good.
really good.
It's very good. And and I'm one of those people that waits until you get the little graphic novels and you get all the issues right there. Totally
Same
did.
here.
Got it like last
Sunny.
month. But it's really good. And if you guys get the chance to read it, you should. So I see good things happening in the future for that one.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Sunny, award-winning writer, artist, and director extraordinaire. What do you have for best
Actor,
series?
actor too.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you, thank you. And podcast
Model.
host.
That was
all.
a spin-off. I think I got that award this year.
No. He does it all. He does it all, people.
What do you got, Sunny?
Well, one thing I do give is I'm giving also more awards, and I give the best current series to Saga. That is one series that I have been reading from the beginning, and this is still going strong, I see. So I give it to Saga. Jamie, you turned me into a big fan of
Absolutely.
it. So
I told you.
go.
yeah, you did. You told me, and I love it. So I think that I give the best current series award to Saga.
Perfect.
Choice.
Got Sal's here. Best current series. Let's see here. Sal's best current series is Venom. He says Marvel stepped up their game and also enjoyed how they connect to the rest of the Marvel comic universe. So Venom is Sal's choice. Mine, best current series. I'm going to have to go with something that Tone and I think we're reading every month when it came out. That is 8 Billion Genies.
Oh, I knew that was coming up.
so
I
good.
knew it
I
was
think
coming.
that
I
is
knew it was
one of the
coming.
best series that I have ever read. It's at issue 6 right now. There's 2 more to go in the run. It's still current. If you haven't checked it out, guys, you absolutely need to. It is wonderful and fantastic.
And he
They're on,
agrees.
Like the 5th
There it
printing for all
is.
the book
Of course
issues
he does.
now.
Of course he does.
Sal's runner-up for best series. Perfect. So 8 Billion Genies. That ends best current series for
I'm gonna have
us.
carpal tunnel by the end of the award show by clicking all these things.
You know what? I'm just saying, you guys, it's obvious you don't read what I read because no one's like, yeah, except for the Little Monsters thing. But
No, seriously, like everything you've done
Give me a
review wise, I have either
Give me a crap.
picked up or have read. So
Well,
I
You
look,
know,
I'm not
honestly,
saying to all the writers of that you need to give me any money from that, but I'm just saying I'm open to that.
honestly, I really appreciate your taste, Kristen, because it's giving me insight into things that I wouldn't ordinarily read. So
goodness,
I
thank you.
appreciate you.
that's for all of us.
Hey.
Yeah, I'd have never
I
thought
do. I
to
get. I
read-
get a lot of recommendations from you guys' reviews as well, and just like chit chatting with you. So
I'd have never thought to read I Hate Fairyland, but after you and I were talking about that, I was like, I have
we
got
had
to find
Yeah.
this
we had like a
book.
1 hour long conversation about why you should read I Hate Fairyland.
I have got to read this thing.
Is
That's Scotty Young, right?
that's
Yes.
Scotty
Yes.
Young. Yep.
All right, so we have done so far biggest surprise, best writer, best artist, and best current series. We are halfway through the awards show right now and getting into the top half of the awards show, we're going to go with Best Series Read. I'm going to start that one off, and it's because of Jamie that this is the best series I think I've ever read. No other
Real fast with
series.
Tone, you do have a very good point, Tone. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I like your second one, too. I'm throwing it on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But moving forward, best series read through Jamie's recommendation. I believe I got it for my birthday.
You did?
Yeah, it was God Country from Image Comics.
Really?
Unbelievable.
so
Who
good.
wrote that? Donnie Cates? Is that
Yep,
right?
Donnie
Yeah.
Cates and Jeff Shaw wrote.
That
I believe in that one.
has to be, bar none, the best independent story I have ever read. And I think it is easily in the top 3 of best stories I've ever read, period.
Wow.
It is
So good.
unbelievable how good that story is. And if you guys have not checked it out, anybody read God Country. You will not be disappointed.
And that'll be the first review we have of the new year on the Codex
Ooh,
podcast.
that is
Yeah, looking
correct.
forward to it. Wow. Now, man, it's really hyped up now.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, Jamie, what do you got for best series read?
Best series read this year came with a lot of surprises. I think this was his third for my nomination of like surprises on the list, but I'm gonna go with Flashpoint Beyond. Especially for the big hook on the Joker's true name given in the series.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
fair.
that's something that was
Hard
needed
fair.
finally. I feel like that correlation still between Thomas and Bruce is always going to be there. That I don't want him to be Batman, but he's still Batman. And just the way that whole series started with what happened with Barry Allen was unbelievable. And I was just like, okay. And it basically mapped out the funniest thing. And I'll stop right here is when if anyone reads it or has read it, he has a board in the background. And on the board, 5G is on there, and it's crossed out because Dan Didio was going to do it, but they were like, no. Yeah. All right. So,
Well,
I was going to say, Dan, what do you got?
Yeah.
I am going to go with the Joker series. Not the current one, though. The current one is pretty good so far. But the one that ran...
that was the Tinian one.
Yeah, the Tinian. Was it 13 issues, I think?
Yeah, they were supposed to be 12, and they made it 13.
Yeah, it was
Is
just...
that Puzzle Box?
No.
Was, no.
Okay, different one. Okay.
No. It was it was a regular series. It was, even though it was called Joker, it was really more of a James Gordon story.
Yes.
But there was, I mean, it was just fantastic every month. The writing was great, the art was great, and like it just took so many twists and turns that like you just it took so many twists and turns that you never would see coming. And it picked up at the end, after the end of Joker Wars, and I wasn't even going to read it because as much as I love the Joker, I was like, Joker's Wars wasn't that great. The guy at the comic shop was like, no, trust me, pick up the first issue, and I was hooked. And especially being a Maryland guy, when I hear him mention Old Bay in there, that was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, the context that he mentions it in towards the end of the series.
Well,
and it
there
led
you
into
go.
the current Joker series, which is pretty good so far.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I need a link to that because you had me at James Gordon. I'm like,
Yes, it should have just been called Jim Gordon, but
I'm down. I'm so down.
The basic premise, not to give anything away, the basic premise is the Joker is, after Joker War ends, he's disappeared. He's off kind of on his own. And this mysterious rich woman comes to James Gordon, who's not commissioner anymore. He's just not really doing anything. And she's like, I'm going to pay you this obscene amount of money, and I want you to use your detective skills and hunt down the Joker and kill him. And like here's a credit card with an unlimited budget, and just spend whatever you need to find him. And then it's Gordon, it's a lot of his him tracking him down, but also him debating, like, will I kill him? Will I not kill him? The world would be a better place without him, but can I do this? And then, like I said, it's a wild ride.
Yes.
We're going to give you this
Right
credit
on.
card, and then you're going to be Batman.
Well,
Unlimited
Batman
credit card.
doesn't
Like,
really.
he
I
might
think
be in the
Batman brought up
Bahamas.
one time in it. Like it really is like a 70%, 60-70% Gordon, 30-40% Joker book.
Yeah.
well, before
Cool.
we move forward, let me throw in Sal's pick for best series read. He
Oh,
says
yeah.
DC vs. Vampires. It is a good overall story. Plus, he enjoys the spin-offs. And with that being said, Kevin, what do you got for best series read?
Sal, I knew you were going to say that.
Moon,
brother.
Moon Knight. Moon Knight is slaughtered every issue.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting until the next
Really?
issue, and there was a thing in it where never mind. I'm not going to spoil it. It's just something that I didn't see coming. In one of the middle of the run, I think something happened where it was in contention for my biggest surprise of the year. So
Yes.
Okay.
definitely just awesome. Moon Knight has been so great lately. He's always been like a B-level character, but this has just kind of been amazing.
He is A
this run.
level in our hearts, with the exception
Absolutely.
of
We'll
volume
talk
1.
after this, Kevin, because I think I know what I think I know what moment you mean. But yeah, we won't spoil it.
All right.
Tone jumped in real fast and said, "None of you said Moon Knight." And then right after Kevin talked,
As he I
Boom.
saw that message come up as Kevin is saying Moon Knight.
You're a little off. You were just a little off.
Well, Kristen, what do you got for best series read?
Okay. Again, so I don't technically read a lot of series that are still ongoing, but for me, the best series that I read this year, and I never thought I would say this, would be Paper Girls.
Ooh, okay.
Now, again, I mean, it ended in 2019. So 2015 to 2019 was the full run. And I only read it because Amazon was doing the TV series. And I was like, well, I mean, if they're doing a TV series, one of us has to read it and like talk about it. I haven't watched the TV series yet. But for anyone that knows me, I'm not huge into like alien stories and things. Like, I know I'm a horror person, but like not huge into like alien stories and like that. And I'm like time travel, things like that. It's been done, but I really found myself enjoying it and really being captivated by the whole story. And I'm not even upset by the ending of the story. There was a lot that could have still have been done. There were, of course, pros and cons as there is to any story, but I was very satisfied by the whole entire series.
Perfect.
Cool.
So if you haven't read it, read it.
All right. And Sonny, why don't you finish us off? Best series read for the year.
Well, first, Kristen, actually, for Paper Girls, I was almost the stand-in for the Wolfman character.
You can't tell me you're
Oh, no
almost
way.
a
I was
fan.
they had some consideration. They was like
I
me,
can't
and-
almost
brag
only
about
counts as
that.
horseshoes and hand grenades.
like me and a few other people, and then they last minute said, "Actually, we're going with somebody else. Enjoy your day."
Well, they missed out. They
Almost.
missed out, man.
So almost, maybe next season.
Did you know I'm an award-winning actor? This is
Yes.
And director and playwright.
Okay. I have been an
Podcast
extra in a
host.
horror movie.
I'm not going to watch it now just because they dissed my loyalty.
Okay, but
Yeah.
at least
Maybe
read
maybe
the
next
comic.
season, though.
You don't have to watch it, but at least read the comic.
So what do you got, Sonny?
Okay.
Best series of the year.
But for me, yeah, this was probably the toughest one for me to choose when it comes to best series. We've read a lot of great stories this year, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll narrow it down to what we did on the Codex podcast. Okay, let me look at some 10 out of 10s, which there was a
which
few.
was quite a few.
But I narrowed it down, and I finally got to one that is all the way back from 1993. So don't worry, Kristen, I'm going all the way back to 1993. And my
Wait, that
pick
was
for best,
mine.
my pick for best series is the miniseries Deadpool: The Circle Chase. I read it, I loved it, and it immediately became one of my favorites. And yes, I knew once I started reading it, this is going to be a 10 out of 10, and it was. So
Sonny,
Deadpool: The
for
Circle
those that
Chase
don't
is my
know,
pick.
I've worked with Sonny for so long now. When I know his rating when he's about to give a 10 out of 10, his
It's so
voice
telling.
You
changes.
can tell by my voice, yeah.
Yeah,
He
his
knows.
voice, he'll
Get
be like,
hyped
and with that, I'm gonna give it, and I'm like, oh, it's a 10 out of 10.
Does your voice do it like 2 octaves higher than any other
Sonny,
voice?
just-
It's like,
Just next time you
Feel
give a
it.
10 out of 10, be really sad.
Yeah, just be like, you know what, this was all right. I give it a 10 out of 10.
yeah, you're an
It's
actor.
whatever.
You
It
know?
was a 10
If
out
they
of
worked
10.
hard, so 10 out of 10.
Here's another one.
Oh, I guess.
This made
Oh,
somebody's
right.
rent,
10 out
so
of
10 out of 10.
That
it's
is
a
best.
4.7.
That is best
Oh.
series read, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie, take us into this next category that we have. We've got
Yes,
3
so
left.
this has been a blockbuster year. Like Tony even said, we put it up on a screen for writing all the way around. But this is for best event of the year. And my pick for best event of the year is Dark Crisis. And that's including all of the tie-ins, because without the tie-ins, you'd be lost. So definitely going with Dark Crisis. Get those tie-ins, ladies and gentlemen. They're worth it. This is the first time I've said that in a long time.
Yeah,
with
because
that being
usually
said-
you're talking about how the tie-ins mean
Oh, I hate
absolutely nothing.
they mean nothing, and it's like I just
Yep.
wasted $4 for nothing. Like
That's what I felt like with King and Black.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly one of the ones I go to. But Tim, what do you got for us, man?
Well, before I give you my choice for best event, I'll give you Sal's. He agrees with you, Jamie. He says Dark Crisis. He believes it is an absolutely amazing story, so that is his pick for best event. Mine, however, is not Dark Crisis. It is not Judgment
Darn.
Day. It is Devil's Reign. Devil's Reign was the culmination of 36, 37 issues of Daredevil.
36.
36 issues, and the entire bit for Devil's Reign, including the sub-series and things like that for Spider-Man and Thunderbolts and Moon Knight and all that stuff. It was unreal. And just that whole finale, that third act with Daredevil and Elektra Daredevil, if you don't know already, going against Kingpin was beautiful. Can't recommend it enough. Devil's Reign is my pick for best event of the year. Sonny, what do you got?
Sonny is out for the next.
For whoever, yeah.
Nothing
so
for Sonny.
Next 2
I
he's
have a lot of
passed.
reading to do.
Kristen, do you have a best event of the year? If not, move it along to
I
Kevin.
guess it depends on how you define event. Like, are we talking like mashup event? Guys, I wasn't supposed to be on
Comic
tonight,
books.
so
No.
I'm sort of like, I am
Yeah,
seriously
surprise
like,
entry.
what the heck did I review?
Kristen, you do have a best event of the year.
I did. Was it Batman versus Big B?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's what I was gonna say. I mean that. Okay, love me
That
some
was
Big
a
B.
good one.
Love me some Big B. So much. I love Big B so much. I showed my mom The Wolf Among Us when like people were doing like the Let's Plays, and now she has the biggest crush on Big B. Like it's her like phone wallpaper and everything.
Wow.
But until Tim told me that there was going to be a Batman versus Big B, I didn't know it was going to exist, and it was the mashup that I didn't know needed to exist.
I think the conversation was, oh, by the way.
Yeah, and then I
up.
was like, I have to pre-order this now, and then it was delayed for months, and I was like, no. But really, it makes sense once you think about it, because Batman and Bigby are so similar, except Batman has his whole credo, and Bigby's like, no, I'll just kill people. It's fine. It's cool. What
Fair
you
enough.
don't do, I'll do. But really, they have the same goal, and I think they worked really well together. And if you like Batman, or if you like the oh my gosh, Fables. I almost said Tall Tales. What the heck am I thinking?
Close.
I have worked 13-hour days for the last 3 days. Sorry.
It's okay.
The Fables, which is one of my favorite comic book series, which is why I'm like, oh god, I just forgot the name. If you like either one of those, you'll like this. It's a really good. It's a quick, full story. It's only 6 issues long, but it makes a lot of sense, and you don't have to know anything about Batman or even Fables to read it and enjoy it.
There you
And I
go.
liked how they to add on to that. I liked how they handled the Robins in that book.
They
too.
do. They have all the Robins, which
Yeah,
I
they
found.
have, like-
I don't know why I found that hilarious, because there was no need to have them in there, but there they were.
I like the way that they changed up the way that they do the Robin, where there's like almost like different tiers of it.
There is, yeah. If you're a Batman fan, so in these, it's not even like really a spoiler. It's just Robins, and it's like, hey, these are the Robins we trust to do our stuff. These are the ones that are still learning, and these are the ones whose butts we're still kicking as we train them. and it's almost like seeing like cops go through their initiations and everything.
Wow.
It really is kind of cool to see them do that.
Well, Kevin, what do you got for best event, sir?
Well, I think based upon the trajectory here, the winner of this category is going to be Dark Crisis on the Infinite Earths. One of my biggest complaints up until recently is that not just DC, Marvel, all of the big companies do that. They introduce these amazing characters, and then they kind of put them on the back burner and forget about them for years or decades in some cases. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths is going to be leading DC back to reintroducing some of these great characters that we all, well, not all of us, but a good chunk of us know and love and haven't been getting enough limelight, credit, proper respect. And DC Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths is worth throwing out for this category, if for no other reason than just for that. But in addition to that, the story has been phenomenal. So Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And I think Tone can agree with me when I say this. We need to bring Firestorm. And Firestorm. Yep. Are they? Thanks, Tone. I was trying to give you credit real fast, bro, before you jumped in. Firestorm, yes, he needs to be back.
Actually, I read. Sorry, I'm not trying to monopolize, but I read.
Monopolize all you want, darling.
All right, thank you. So the rest of the show is me.
Yeah, just get rid of the rest of us, Jamie. It's Kevin for the rest of the night.
One of
Right three, Kevin.
Sorry, Kevin. I said that without realizing that Jamie still had power.
Jamie has complete creative control. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This isn't Zoom. I don't have the power.
Well, go ahead and finish your thought, Kevin, and then Dan, why don't you finish this category off?
I was reading previews for the next event for DC, Lazarus Planet. And one of the issues that I read the synopsis of mentioned that is going to have Firestorm in it. So hopefully this will be the beginning of them recognizing such an interesting, dynamic, and awesome character again, and putting him back into the place where he should be in the universe.
Right on.
All right. Fast. Thank you, Kristen, for acknowledging.
I just noticed. I was looking. I was like, he is bossed up. Look at that man.
Did you see how he color coordinated the hat and the outfit?
It's very, that's more thought than I put into mine, where I'm wearing, the Christmas story hat here.
But it brings anything else that you're wearing together.
That's what I love about my team.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, and I've got my Maximum Overdrive shirt just for Tim.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Wonderful.
It really ties the room together.
Yes.
It does. It does. Thank you.
I see what you did there.
I mean, it's a great award.
Dan, what do you got for best event, sir?
I'm gonna have to go with you and say Devil's Reign.
On, I'm not alone.
It was I mean, Dark Crisis was good too, but when I really thought about it, I was like, Devil's Reign was, like you said, it was 3 years of story building to get up to that from when Zdarsky took over Daredevil. And it wasn't one of those, not that there's anything wrong with the series, but there wasn't
three nail biting years by the way.
Yeah, but like every story beat, built on what happened before it, which you don't often see. Usually in books it's, here's 6 issues of this storyline, and then it's wrapped up, and then we go into the next one, and then here's 10 issues of this storyline, or a 3-issue storyline, or anything. Like when he started Daredevil, he clearly had a long-term plan, and it's like, all right, this happens, and then this, and then this, and then this, and they just kept building, and everything that. Every major thing that happened into it led into the next thing, which led into Devil's Reign, which has now, even when that concluded, the story's not done because that's now led into the current Daredevil series, which is still excellent. So, it's a storyline that, even though Devil's Reign was only 6 issues, I mean, it's essentially been like a 4-year story at this point, and it's still excellent.
Well, Dan, maybe you and I will sit here next year for the 3rd annual Codex Awards and say the current Daredevil run is best series of the year.
Hey, so far.
Or they'll read something else.
All right. Well, yeah, that's true. All right. So we have 2 more categories to go. One is top publisher. We'll get to that here in just a second. And the other is
I
the
do actually have a pick
Legacy
for that
Award.
one.
Oh, do you?
Okay.
Good deal. Perfect.
And then you said the Legacy Award last.
Legacy Award will be the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say it's been so much fun so far for this hour, 4 minutes, and going on 30 seconds now. And even though when this show is over next week and every week after that, with all the other shows coming out, guys, we look forward to doing that for you every week. It has been nothing but a joy and a pleasure and an honor to be a part of this and to be here with such an amazing group of people, those that are on screen now and those that can't be here with us tonight. Absolutely fantastic and wonderful. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the top publisher of the year. Sal says Marvel. Marvel is his top publisher of the year, and he says it is because of the amount of current content that they're putting out. Not a bad choice, Sal. However, I have to disagree with you. My top publisher of the year is Image. The best series that I've read so far this year, 8 Billion Genies, God Country, and a slew of other stories that I just never got to finish, leads Image to be my top publisher of the year. My alternate was DC. Marvel was a fast third for me. Beyond that, Jamie, what do you got for top publisher?
Again, we're on the same wavelength here, buddy. I got Image.
All
Last year
right.
I had
Wow.
DC, but this year I got Image. Everything from Radiant Black, Supermassive, Rogue Sun, the Dead Lucky, Saga coming back and just not missing a beat. It's been an amazing ride for them this year, and just can't wait to see what they put out moving forward. It's been a fun ride, and yeah, DC was second, but
And Marvel was third for you?
no, not even close.
Wow.
Not even on the radar.
Jamie, not a Marvel person this year.
I got a whole team of Marvel fans here. Like, you ask anybody on the team, it's like, oh, I read Marvel, and I'm like, someone read
I don't know what
DC.
you're talking about at all. Like Marvel.
Leave
right,
it to
so-
Jamie to be like, okay, I got a completely different take from everybody else. That is our Jamie.
I have to be. Someone's got to be the difference maker here. Might as
So
well be me.
we've got 1 Marvel, 2 Images. Jamie, who do you want to reveal their next top publisher of the year?
SK.
What do
Okay,
you
yeah,
got,
for me,
Sonny?
it was really tough that I was almost even not going to do one. I'm like, I might just pick one. But then when I'm really thinking about it, I'm like, come on, pick one for this. And said Image has been making its way up for me. I've been reading a lot more. So maybe next year I'm going to check out a lot more Image. But for me, it really came down to Marvel and DC. And this year I've really been finding a lot of DC stories that I really love. They were 10 out of 10s. But for me, this year, I will go with Marvel.
Ooh.
Comic wise,
Point
I've been reading
proven.
a lot, and then Marvel. Like, yeah, I'm a fan. I've been
Jamie, right?
I've been
How
seeing Marvel
dare you
stays
make
on
me look
top.
good?
We're gonna hear about this for the rest of the year.
Marvel has been staying on top, not just in comic books, but all across the board. Everything, they're releasing shows, they're releasing movies, they're even doing podcasts of comic books. Marvel is just still dominating, and we'll see what happens next year. But for me, yeah, I give the award for the best publisher to Marvel. They remain on top for me.
So that's 2 for Marvel, 2 for Image. Tone also says Image is his number 1 this year, with Marvel a close second, Boom a third, and DC didn't even make his top 3.
Oh, wow.
Tone, shut up.
Well, let's
I love you, buddy. We miss you.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely
110%.
miss you, man.
So let's keep this train a rolling. Kevin, what do you got for top publisher?
Man, okay, let us bring it over the top with Image. They have been slaughtering this past year. Their 30th anniversary, they have been so unbelievably prolific with everything that they're putting out, hit after hit after hit. The last thing I read was, I think this was Image, was, excuse me, Hitomi, the Japanese samurai story. It's just everything that they are coming out with is fire. Image is looking like it is well on its way to be a juggernaut of DC Marvel proportions. So yeah, absolutely got to give it to Image this year.
All
Yeah, with the
right.
Spawn movie coming out, it should definitely bring Images.
Yep.
I mean, every 2 years we got a major announcement on new.
That's
Spawn movie,
right.
so might as
What
well
was
keep
the
it going.
last? What was the last announcement? We'll get to it the next day. I
Yeah,
can't do it today.
Yeah, I got,
Oh yeah, the writers.
we've
We'll do it
started
tomorrow.
we started getting the writers.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Dan, what do you got for top publisher of the year?
Well, you guys are all right with Image. It's had some great books. I mean, Stillwater, Firepower. There was this really cool mini series called Sins of the Black Flamingo. You know, Image has got a lot of varied stuff, but I'm gonna have to go with Marvel.
Oh, neck and neck. What's going on here?
You know, Immortal Hulk, which was fantastic, ended, and then this whole, then the new Hulk series started, which has also been, crazy good and being completely different than what it was. Thor has been awesome. They brought back Genisville with Captain Marvel with that new series. It looks like he's going to be showing up in more stuff. The Silver Surfer that Ron Lim and Ron Mars did was great. My favorite character, Captain America, he just got a new series, which is actually good because the last series was not. And the artwork and the writing on it is fantastic. As we've been saying, Daredevil is just fantastic. I feel like they've really stepped it up this year. So hopefully they'll be able to continue that going forward.
Right on.
Awesome.
Okay, Kristen,
Green
finish
three.
this off.
Oh,
Do you
no.
have a top publisher that you have read this year?
Pressure pushing down me.
Is it Marvel or Image?
It's
Which
Image.
one?
Yeah,
Atta girl.
Image is my favorite with Little Monsters and Discovering Paper Girls. They have definitely been the majority that I have enjoyed, and I hate betraying my Marvel because Jamie was talking about me in that too because I am a Marvel girl. But what was the one thing that you guys made me read, which was Rogue and Gambit, and I hated it.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, well, it worked, but no, Image. Image is definitely my top, and then I would go with DC, and then boom.
I think the general consensus for Codex as a whole says Image is the top publisher of the year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
We got 4-3. Hey, DC,
Yeah,
you need to step your game up then. Not a single vote.
Please send all hate messages to Codex and not me directly for that.
send them to Kevin. Kevin will take
Yo,
it.
I'll
He's got
take
the
it.
kid.
Yeah.
I am going to say
If
there
you
were a
send
couple
me
of
hate
indie
mail.
publishers like Boom
Sale.
and AWA that I almost said,
Oh, I just scored it.
but the thing for me holding them back is that they don't do any ongoing series. It's all mini series.
If
Fair
you
enough.
send me hate mail,
Yeah.
I promise you to respond to each and every last one of those.
Oh, I'm gonna use it to keep the house warm.
Daily
There you go.
affirmations. Jamie, we are on the last category of the year for the second annual Codex Awards. It has
Yes.
been a blast doing these first 7, but now we need to kind of take a little bit of a serious note and get to the Legacy Award. Why don't you let everybody know what that is and why we chose it the way we did this year?
So our Legacy Award goes to the one usually after the first one is the one we feel is the most veteran, the most unique, and most characteristic when it comes to comics. This goes with writers, artists, colorists, pencilers, actors, whatever it may be. Last year's was George Perez because we knew what his diagnosis was and what was going to happen. So that's who we gave it to last year. And this year we've lost so many greats in the industry that we couldn't dwindle it down to one. So at this time, I'm going to give the list of 5 that we have on there, and we can kind of reminisce a little bit about our thoughts on them. So with those picks, we have Carlos Pacheco, Tim Sale, Neil Adams, Kevin Conroy, and Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
So those are the 5 this year that get the Legacy Award from Codex.
I actually met Jason David Frank once.
This year hurts, man.
Yeah, it was
Fair.
way too
Fair.
much this year with everything, with
Yeah.
everybody.
Every episode of the podcast, I feel like maybe every other episode this year has been someone has passed away and someone big in the
Yeah.
industry, and it was just, like it's always the saddest news. Like we always have to do that segue where it's like we were laughing, and then it's like, and on to some bad news.
Well,
I'm not going to drink on screen, but my whiskey is up to you guys. Well, I mean, if you give me a thumbs up, I will, Jamie.
Go ahead, go for it.
I don't know what this whiskey is, by the way. My husband poured it.
That's fine.
It's just like we have a messenger group for the podcast specifically for myself, Jamie, and Sonny. Yeah, I know I'm pointing in the wrong direction. But anyways, it doesn't matter. The point is, we have a messenger group for the podcast, and it's like every week Sonny will put up another one that passed away, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this. It's tough. It's tough because we lose so many good people. Tim Sal is an amazing artist. Neil Adams is legendary. Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman. Jason
That one hurt a
David
lot.
Frank, such a champion for the Power Rangers in general, family-friendly entertainment, and just an all-around awesome dude. And so many other people that we lost this year. It's too many to count, and it's 2023 needs to not do that. That needs to not happen. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
One of the things, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I can't help but think like what, not just the people that they are, but what art, whatever it may be, writing, actual art, we are missing out on because of their passing. Like, what would they have come up with? What amazing shit are we gonna miss out on for their passing? You know, not having something that has potentially one of the most amazing things that they potentially could be coming out with, if not for this sad somber event.
Well, I mean, the good thing is no, I was just gonna say the good thing is we won't miss out on the things that they have done, and that's always going to be available.
Yeah, their legacies live on.
I was just going to say that the reality is, as you get older, and especially with the advent of social media being as prevalent as it is that this information is right there in your face. The second you wake up, you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook. It's right there. And then you're also connected to a bunch of people that feel the same way you do, that you didn't know existed 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So I almost feel like there's more of a resounding sadness when your heroes start to age and pass away, or get sick and pass away. Like, I mean, I've had friends taken away from me too soon, family members taken away too soon. And the idea is it's always hardest on the living because they're the ones left behind.
Right. Absolutely.
We're never going to miss what you've done because I can see it. I can go through photos. I can go back to movies. I can hear my friend's voice before she was taken away, you know, because we have it recorded. But I'm going to miss all the things that you never got to do, especially the things that you never got to do with me, or the things I never got to enjoy. I'm a crisis counselor as a volunteer. Does that...
the people that we lose are the ones that are no longer in pain. We're the ones that are feeling. And admittedly, it's you know, I'm not trying to count out anybody or anything, but it's a place of selfishness because we're feeling they are in a better place. Hopefully it's us that are suffering from their loss.
I think it can also be harder, especially when you think of Jason David Frank, where they take their own life.
Right.
And one of my favorite bands ever is Linkin Park. And I said this to my mom because I was introducing her to Linkin Park's music just over this weekend. She only heard a couple songs. And I said, you know, it's been over 5 years since he took his life. And that was probably one of the first ones that really hurt because I can hear it in his songs. So when you do something like comics and movies and TV shows, you can sometimes hear it in the interviews. You can hear it in the performances they give. And you're like, how did I not notice that before?
Yeah.
And now I have to sit there and reminisce about, like, man, what did I miss? Not that I could have done anything as a fan or
Right.
fixed anything for you, but it's just like, what could have been done? Because I've had family members take their lives too, and I think when that happened, just to get real here for a moment, not to be depressing, just to get real here for a moment.
Too late.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Hi, I'm Kristen, and I bring the emotion. No, I one of my close family members committed suicide when I was 17-ish, and this person had tried multiple times throughout my life. Okay, so this wasn't a one-off. We knew that they were in pain, and if you had asked this person, they would have said, I can't tell you why. I just don't want to exist right now. So I always told myself that after they succeeded in taking their life, that, well, they got what they wanted, and it's okay. And I mean, I was 17, I'm 38 now, so we're talking over 20 years, and every time I see a celebrity or somebody I know that takes their life, I think about that, and I'm like, man, what did you miss in my life, though? What did you miss in your life?
Yeah.
Could it have been better 2 months down the road? And I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. It just sucks.
Well,
Hey,
Sunny,
comic relief. It sucks, is what I'm going to say.
Sunny and Dan, before we finish this wonderful awards program, do you guys have any final thoughts?
Dan, did you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Neil Adams.
Mhm.
I mean, that guy. I mean, he's a legend. You know, if you read comics, you know the stuff he did on Green Arrow, Batman, all the stuff is just, you know, he defined characters, and with Batman too, like Kevin Conroy. Whenever I read a comic, like that's the voice I hear. Like I hear his voice as Batman, and I hear Mark Hamill as Joker. You know, I hear
Yeah.
the voice of Commissioner Gordon from the
Sorry,
animated,
Tone.
like all of them. Like that's, you know,
Oh.
the voices
That's
that
awesome.
I hear in my head when I'm reading, you know, when I'm reading the comics. Like that's the definitive Batman voice. And you know, and if you read that short story that he wrote, it was one of the DC Pride books.
Finding Batman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Finding Batman. It's so for such a short story too. Like it's so good, and then like Carlos Pacheco too. I was a big fan of his. In fact, when we did the first review I did with Avengers Forever was, you know, when we were when everyone was deciding, yeah, that like, oh, what books are we gonna review? It was right after he died, and I instantly thought, well, I'm gonna do a review of Avengers Forever because that story was awesome and his artwork is just phenomenal on that. But yeah, and then like the story behind it with him too, where he, you know, was something that he was kind of suffering about for a while, but didn't, you know, kind of kept it to himself until it was towards the end, and he let everyone know, like, hey, you know, this is getting to be the end of the road for me. Here's what's happening. Like, it just, yeah, man, it sucks. But like you said,
like
you
David Bowie doing the Black Star thing, which
Yeah,
was
you
just like
just,
goodbye, farewell letter, because he knew it was coming to an end. It's like,
yeah, and you just, you know, like Kevin said, you don't have, you know, it's whatever art that they would have created going forward we won't get, but you know, we have all the stuff that they, you know, that they had created before that we can go back on, and you know, at least they'll have that's something that they're going to live on for generations, because people will always have that to go back for. Then, like you mentioned, the singer from Linkin Park, like, you know, there was another singer that just died recently, just a couple days ago, the singer for the Specials, which,
yeah, he did.
you know, like when you hear that, I'm like, man, like I've grown up listening to them, and then you just,
Yeah.
you know, it's just gone. But yeah, you just, you know, you have the work that they created, that, you know, so they'll at least live on through that.
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
hear the especially when it's a singer of some sort or an actor or a voice actor, it's like you hear their voice in echoes for a while.
Yeah.
You know, because it's no longer present and there's no future after they're gone. So it's almost like, man, I'm listening to the past, and God, I wish I wasn't.
The past doesn't bother me. It's the past. Sonny, let's talk about the present. How do you
I-
feel about
I
the
have
legacy?
photos of you from the past, dude. Don't do that to me. I
He
will
posts.
that.
He makes them as profile pictures.
I do.
We know.
I know he does.
Sonny, your final
Yeah.
thoughts on the legacy award?
Yeah, a lot of you touched on that, and everyone we were giving the award to. Yeah, they've all made legendary works, and like I said, their legacies will live on, and their works will live on. We get to check it out, and like I said, we will always wonder what if. And then we were talking about, let's say, the people who have committed suicide, people who are going through tough times. Just remember that there's always someone out there to reach out to.
Yeah.
Remember that you are loved, that you do matter, even if maybe you're not so known or so popular as the people we talk about and we celebrate. But you have a legacy for yourself. Even like I said, if it's not known, you still have a legacy. Your life still does matter. So life is worth living. This life isn't going to be that long for any of us. I mean, how many people really live to even be 100 years old? So no matter how many years you have here, please try to enjoy it. Try to do the best you can to live on and to help others. And like I said, you all have a legacy too in your life.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
Right on.
I'd like to add one more.
I'd
like to add one
Go
more
ahead.
thing. People that are suffering right now, and I think it's impossible to be alive today and not be in pain to some degree or another.
Mhm.
If you're suffering, despite how you may feel, don't do it in silence. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. There's always somebody available. Even if you don't have anyone, there are hotlines to call, to talk to people that can help you through this. One step at a time, my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And
I
if
was
you guys are watching this right now, sorry, Kristen.
no go
If you
ahead.
guys are watching this,
Please.
as I've said in every single episode that we've ever had to mention this in, if you need to reach out to someone, there's a lot of us here that are available too.
Absolutely.
So don't hesitate.
And I have been a volunteer crisis counselor for the past 4 years for the crisis text line. So even if you don't like talking on the phone, don't use that as an excuse to not reach out, because the crisis text line, you can Facebook message, you can WhatsApp, you can go ahead and text, and there's no, you don't have to like give your name or even tell everything, but even if you're just like, man, I just need to rant for a couple minutes, that's okay.
Mhm.
That's okay. I've heard people that were like, hey, I've got the knife to my wrist right now. And then I've heard people are just like, I'm just having a really bad day. Like I had a fight with my best friend. If it's a crisis to you, it's a crisis to somebody that's going to listen, no matter how small you think it is.
Damn right.
All right. All right. Well, I think that is a perfect place to bring this wonderful, amazing, phenomenal award show to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for the second annual Codex Awards. We have had a spectacular time going over all of the 8 categories with you, from biggest surprise down to the Immortal Legacy Award. I don't have much more to say, so I'm going to get the business out of the way before Jamie and Sonny take us the rest of the way out. Ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find us. You know what to do. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station on your favorite podcast streaming platforms, and that is where we are. We also have a website. It is thecodexstation.com. You can find beautiful merchandise that I am wearing. Sonny has sitting in the background there, plus so much more. And you can see all of our beautiful faces and find everything Codex related on thecodexstation.com.
And stickers.
And stickers too. My name is Tim. On either side of me is the beautifully talented and wonderfully underrated J Dubs and the award-winning Sonny Kruger. This has been the second annual Codex Awards. I will see you next time. Jamie, why don't you go ahead and continue this exit?
Well, I will let Sonny and the rest of the crew say their last final thoughts, and then I'll kind of take us out because I got something I want to say. So
Sounds good. Sonny, what do you got for us?
Well, everyone, it's been very interesting having a show that I did not have to host and write down the notes. A quick, do you know for anybody? Do you know the last time there was a Codex episode that I was on that I did not host?
Do we get a point for this?
Never.
yes, it was.
PDF
Did I get a free
participation trophy.
sticker?
Oh, I
don't
do.
know.
I know.
Well, no, you were there though. Is
I
that
would
This would be one that I was on, but not there
Yeah.
for.
Oh, I have no idea.
Wasn't it like episode?
You think I watched
7?
this show? Wait a minute.
I feel
I
like it
do.
was like
I do.
it was one of the episodes because we took turns at the beginning.
It's the uncensored episode, right?
Well, I mean,
How?
technically it was kind of both of us.
Okay,
Oh,
The
okay.
last time, Kevin, were you gonna guess?
I have a guess. You said that you were on it, but you weren't there.
I was on
all
it, but
of
not the
them?
host.
Yeah, he was on it, but not the host.
I'm kidding. No idea.
No clue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dan, any? The last time I was on any kind of Codex thing where I was not the host was episode 4 of the Codex
Oh.
podcast.
Oh, wow.
All the way
Yeah.
back
Why
in 4.
would I know that?
And now we're at
If you work for
63.
Codex, dude, I work at 63. So it's been nice to
Wow.
sit back, relax, let you guys take over and host it. But yeah, so this is our last show for 2022. So goodbye. Thank you everyone for your support, your love. I look forward to seeing you all more things Codex in 2023.
Perfect. Kristen, what do
Awesome.
you got for final words for the year?
Wow. Happy solstice. Happy Yule. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Festivus. Whatever you celebrate, I just hope that you're having a good one. And thank you for allowing this gal here to read random things that she never would have read, to review them, and to hang out with some great guys. So thanks for watching. I hope you keep watching me. I hope I don't suck. I might suck a little. It's okay.
You bring the views. You don't suck at all.
It's the boobs
Yeah.
that bring the views. I mean, you can't see them, but the fact that they're there.
Yes, it gives the imagination.
Yeah, yeah.
It's implied.
I gotta
It's
leave
implied.
a little bit.
I'm
to
surprised you
them.
didn't end it with, and I'll see you in the next issue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ah.
And I hope to see you in the next issue.
Holy smokes. Kevin, what do you got for us?
One of the I saw this on a few things, and I haven't really mentioned this or said this before, but I thought it was really good, and I feel that it's a true statement for me. Somebody has said once, like, people hate easily. People hate, like, I can hate for no reason. Cut me off in traffic, I hate you. If people can hate indiscriminately, you can choose to love indiscriminately. I love all you guys. I love every member of our audience. I love everybody on Comic Character of the Day. You guys really give me something to look forward to every day of every week. And I can't be more appreciative. Thank you so very much for letting me be a part of all of this.
We're happy
Thank
to have you.
Always happy to have you, buddy.
Dan?
Yeah, I just like to say thanks, everyone. Thanks to Kevin for starting the Comic Character of the Day Facebook page, which is where, a lot of us that do these shows have met each other. And, thanks for making me your co-admin on there. Thanks for Jamie for starting this station and bringing us on and letting us do some shows and talk some comics on there. And yeah, thanks to you guys for just kicking ass all year, doing some great shows, and look forward to it next year. Look forward to doing some more. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope everyone has a happy holiday and keep watching.
Commissions are open.
Yeah, commissions are open. Yeah.
At Dan Kelly Art,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag Dan Keller.
Awesome.
not Bagley Art.
Not at all.
I feel a collab coming on here, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love that.
Jamie, take
Jamie, I
us
think you were
out
going
of
to take it
here.
away.
All right. Well,
All right, boss man.
it's been a hell of a year. And I gotta admit, there's been sleepless nights, there's been days without sleep getting this work done. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. And at the rate these guys are pumping out content, at the rate you all have just like worked, I can't thank you enough. This started off with me calling Sonny saying, dude, I got an idea. And Sonny literally said, we fail, but let's just do it. And it bled into something that I could never have thought or imagined it could be. And with all of your guys' help, I can't thank you enough. And I truly can. You guys, Kristen running reviews now, Comic Character of the Week, After Dark, the podcast, more shows coming that I really can't talk about at the moment. Old shows might be returning too, from what I've been hearing. We'll see what those are.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. But honestly, I love each and every one of you. I could not do this without you guys, and every day that I get to do this is a blessing. And it's from new to old members. Tone, you're still in this, brother. I don't care if you've been out for a while or not. You're still loved. Anytime you want to jump on a mic, you let me know. It's always open.
Seeing your face, man.
I miss someone being smart on the show.
I mean, that's fair.
It's no secret that Tone was the smartest out of all of us.
Yeah, no. If we had the smartest member award for Codex, it would have gone to him. But since people know.
in the Codex yearbook,
what's crazy is the comic shop that Tone goes to is owned by a guy I used to be in a band with.
That's amazing.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna end this off on a good note. This year's been amazing. Next year, I don't think anyone's ready for what's about to happen. And lastly, guys, as I've always said it, be kind to one another out there. You never know what anyone's going through. So even making someone smile can change the course of their day or life. So always be kind. And I can speak for everybody when I say this. We'll see you in the new year.
Bye.
Much love. Peace.